Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about what if Deku was in high school DxD. So in the last video we talked about how, after, his whole encounter with, with the, you know, with the familiar of Sona Citri, which is actually her real name, he would basically be going off, basically getting ready to go home, as he would basically be encountered, or at least get an encounter with a man with, whitish hair and somewhat reddish eyes. As, after noticing him, he would see him getting ready to fight him, as he would notice that he also seems to be wearing a priest-like outfit. And after fighting with him, he would basically introduce himself as Freed Selzen, which, Izuku would probably, already know, or, not really probably, but already knows about him, because he recently gotten some, info about him from, not really a spy not really a spy network, but more like, let's just say some hacking. Let's just say that. And after introducing himself, Izuku would obviously try and fight him as well, maybe to get his DNA. Mostly because he's also, wondering if he can get any powers from Freed Selzen, because he's pretty much an interesting guy in his opinion. And he also probably wants to get that gun, and during the fight he would lose his arm, but thankfully he was able to regenerate, which, he was pretty surprised with, specifically, Fred. Which, Fred would ask him what the hell he is, and told him that he was not a demon or a man. Something even more dangerous than that, he would say. And after a bit of fighting, he would rip off, Selzen's arm, which, let's just say, he was not really happy, and even said that was his fapping arm. Yeah, we didn't really need that information, dude. So, yeah. So, after defeating him and basically, letting him escape, he would decide to go back home, and when he did arrive home, he would notice that Cowwinner was nothing, she basically opened the door, and, Izuku would realize that she's just wearing a towel, which, he was pretty much, let's just say this. Oh yeah, pretty much, awkward at that point, because, he's still pretty much a baby inside, a cinnamon roll. So yeah, he's pretty much awkward at that point. So after, telling her to basically change into some clothes, he would basically go in and decide to get some sleep. After, going to sleep, we go to a different perspective. In this case, with the Grimmery group. Currently, during, Izuku's fight with, Selzen, apparently Kaneko, aka the girl that was, a part of, Izuku's class, was watching him. Thanks to the command of, of Grimmery, aka Ria's Grimmery. And after, reporting this to, to her, and also, apparently, Issei is the Red Dragon Empress. Yeah, oh boy. And let's just say, oh god, let's just say she was pretty much, weirded out after being told that he was not really human at all. And after being told that he was also supposed to be a part of, of Soda's peerage, which, she was obviously concerned about, and also, kind of a bit overprotective, because remember, she is basically our childhood friend, or at least, Izuku's childhood friend. And so, after a bit of talking with, her boss, aka, Miss, Grimmery over there, they would also see that, Sona's Peerage had finally arrived, and would tell them about some information about him. Mostly about that he's, a ghoul, which basically eats human flesh, but in this case, he doesn't really eat human flesh, and apparently, he only needs to eat, some human food now, or at least somewhat. I mean, he's basically able to eat normal human food, along with, eating human flesh. After a lot of lore dumping, or information dumping in this case, they were pretty much wondering what he really is, and also wondering if, if they have any, relation with, with them. And apparently, she would also tell them that, that she sort of lost him, which, caused Gravity to basically laugh at her a little bit. And even told her that I can't believe that she's going to be forced to, that he's going to be marrying, him. I mean, she's not really insulting Izuku, but to say the least, she's a bit, a bit of laughing, like she was pretty much laughing at this point. Because, somebody finally beaten her. And after a while of basically talking, and also, Issei being a little bit angry, knowing that she's gonna be, forced to marry Izuku, well, oh boy. And so, after that, we go back to Izuku once again. So, we currently see Izuku basically sleeping as a person would arrive. This person seems to have dark eyes and dark hair, and seemed to be watching him, and would tell Izuku while he was sleeping that she will become his mate, no matter what. And apparently, her title is the Infinite Dragon, or the Ouroboros Dragon. And we basically left off the episode where she would basically leave. So yeah, and if you, didn't realize who she was, well, I'll probably tell you in, a few episodes later, I guess. So yeah, so I'm gonna be, leaving this, explanation about what happened last episode right off here. So yeah, so let us talk about what happens next. So yeah, so we currently see Izuku basically fully waking up. After waking up, he would say, why do I feel something heavy on me? He would say, as after looking over and basically feeling a pretty large ass, something on his body under his blanket, he would take off his blanket and would see Calviner basically sleeping on him, basically sleeping on his chest while he was basically still pretty much wearing, his boxers. Nothing else at that point. Because at the time, he was pretty much, pretty hot. And after a while, he would basically become a little bit cold and decide to put on the blanket. After seeing Calwinner basically, sleeping on him, he would say, hey, Calwinner, as she would say this. Oh, morning, Izuku, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Can you please get off me? As she would say this. Come on, just a few more minutes, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Fine. I mean, it's at least the weekends now, so as she would say this. Yeah. As she would start becoming a little bit closer to him, as she would start, basically coming towards his, face, as, both of their faces are basically, like, face to face. I mean, and, Izuku is just basically, blushing at that point. Because even though back in the day, back when he was, still pretty much a ghoul, or at least somewhat of a half ghoul, he was, sort of still a cinnamon roll. I mean, he did, decide to, get into the pants of, the One-Eyed King's daughter. Like, seriously? It's like, seriously, what the hell? As, he would say this, can you please don't do that? She would say this. Why? Are you that pretty much a cinnamon roll, she would say? As Izuku would say this. Why do people keep saying that, he would say in his mind. Either way, can you please stop that? I'm a teenager and you're basically older than me, and she would say this. Don't worry, it will be fine, she would say. She would still be hugging him while he was still, on the bed. And after a while, Izuku would start to hear the sounds of knocking on the door. After, hearing this, Izuku would say this. Hey, Calmaner, I think I should probably get down there. As she would say this. Fine, she would say. As she would basically get off him, as she would decide to sleep on Izuku's bed. After doing so, Izuku would basically grab some clothes, specifically, yeah, let's just say some shorts and probably like a, tank top. After, going in front of the, going towards like the front door, he would open the front door and would see Issei. As Issei would say this. Oh, morning Izuku. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, morning, he would say. As she would say this. I wanted to ask, do you want to hang out, later? As Izuku would say this. I don't really mind. What time exactly? She would say this. How about, later afternoon? Maybe about, like, after lunch. As Izu could say this. How about, maybe we'll have lunch together instead? I should say this. Wait, really? As Izu could say this. Yeah, why not? So, maybe 11. Got it? As after saying this, she would say this. Oh, sure, why not? She would say a little like, with a little blush on her face, as Izuku would say this. Anyway, see you there. She would say this. Oh, so, Izuku? As Izuku would say this. She would say this. Actually, never mind. As, after saying this, Izuku would just shrug as he would say this. Anyway, bye! As he would basically close the door, as he would decide to, go to the kitchen and decide to make breakfast. Currently outside, Issei was there, basically still pretty much awkward. Because after hearing that her own childhood friend was not really a normal human being, and after knowing that he is basically a flesh-eating human a human flesh-eating monster, which, sounds a bit terrifying, but at least he's able to just eat normal food and not just eat human flesh. Well, she was still pretty much, in shell shock after hearing about this, and really wants to talk, seriously wants to talk about that. But for now, she would maybe decide to just talk to him about that later. And so, after leaving the household, she would start leaving to go back to her home. So, currently with Izuku. Izuku is basically making breakfast, as Cowwinner would basically go downstairs, basically just wearing, let's just say some pretty interesting clothing, to say the least. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, I'm not looking towards you at all. As she would say this. Why? As after saying this, Izuku would just, remember. And I mean remember. When he woke up, he would realize that she was also wearing some pretty risque, clothing, to say the least. As Izuku would say this. I'm not doing that, he would say. I'm not looking at you, I swear. As she would say this. Oh, come on, you little innocent cinnamon roll, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Ah, please, for God's sake, he would say this. As after saying this, she would say this. Aw, you're absolutely cute, but no, she would say. As Izuku would just look at her as he would say this. Anyway, here. After saying this, Izuku would basically grab the food that he made, as he would put it to the table, as she would say this. Oh, she would say, she would smell the food, as she would say this. Whoa, it smells pretty good, as Izuku would say this. Well, obviously, I'm pretty much a pretty good chef myself, he would say, as she would say this. Yeah, she would say, as she would grab some of the food and would try it, as she would say this. Whoa. Super good, like always, she would say. As after doing so, she would start, using some spoon and forks. Izuku would decide to buy them for her because, she's not really used to, using chopsticks. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, he would say, as he would grab some food from his chopsticks, as he would start eating it. As after a while of eating, Izuku would say this to her. By the way, I'm gonna be going out with my friend, so you can do whatever you want here. As she would say this. Oh, so you're going on a date with her? As Izuku would say this. It's not really a date. We're more like childhood friends than anything else. As she would say this. Sure, I guess. By the way, try not to, cheat on me, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Did I ever told you that I would basically try and date you? As she would say this. Maybe, but I'm still pretty much interested in you, after all. As she would start to come a little bit closer, as she would say this. You did save me from those guys, she would say, even though I could probably destroy them in an instant. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, whatever. As after saying this, she would say this. Anyway, go get her, I guess you could say. And after saying this, Izuku would say this. Anyway, I should be preparing for, for lunch. with her, he would say. She would say this, yeah, whatever. And after saying this, Izuku would start to leave, basically, doing some stuff. As we currently see, Kaoru just saying this to herself. He certainly is a cinnamon roll, but he is sort of dense, she would say. Maybe I should try and corrupt him, she would say. She would somewhat, lecherously smile. Currently, in a different universe. We currently see, a familiar face with bluish hair and bluish eyes. As she would say this. Why do I sense somebody even more lustful than me? As she would look over at her lover. She would say this. Merida? As this girl with somewhat, tannish skin and greenish eyes and greenish, not really greenish, but more like reddish hair would say this. Yeah? As after saying this, she would say this. Anyway, do you have anything for our... As she would say this. Oh, don't worry. Besides, we already finished up the thing. As she would say this. As she would say this. What happened? Are you still pretty much sad about... Sure. She would say. As she would say this. Well, obviously, I mean, he was my cousin. As after saying this, she would say this. Yeah, we know. And trust me, we'll always remember him. After all, he was our pseudo-leader. After saying this, as she would say this. Whatever. Besides, why not celebrate our day? Why try and be sad? After all, why not celebrate? I mean, he could probably be pretty happy. I mean, we did survive. As she would say this. Yeah, I guess so. As she would say this. By the way, we should probably visit our niece. As she would say this. Oh yeah, Lavenza. We should. After all, she is going to be coronated as the new Queen of Hell. As she would say this. Yeah, let's go. After saying this, these two girls would start to leave. So, going back to our universe, or at least the universe that Izuku is currently in. So yeah, we currently see, Izuku basically, getting ready. As Izuku would say this. I guess this is pretty good. He would seem to be wearing, a simple, black polo shirt. And under that was a simple, button-up collar. Specifically a white shirt with a button-up collar. As he would also, wear some black, pantaloons. Not really pantaloons, but more like, pantalones. Not the, Genshin character, no. Basically, just, some slacks, basically. As after wearing them and also wearing some pretty nice shoes, specifically, those, shoes that you usually wear, I don't know really what to call them, but they're basically, those fancy shoes that you wear, when you're out in town. Not those, sneakers or something of that sort, no. Those sleek black shoes that you'd see businessmen and women basically wearing. So yeah, after basically wearing all of this, this outfit, he would start to leave. As you'd say goodbye to, to Kawaner, as you say this. Bye. As after leaving, he would start to go to, to where, Issei's at. As Izuku would basically knock on the door, as a person would come out. This girl, or this woman, would be Issei's mom, as she would say this. Ah, Izuku. Don't worry, our daughter's currently, doing something right now. Apparently she forgotten something, as Izuku would say this. As usual, he would say, as she would say this. Yeah, try not to do anything weird with our daughter, and then she would say, as Izuku would say this. I told you I'm not going on a date with her. Besides, we're just going on a friendly, a hangout session, I guess you could say. As she would say this. Yeah, sure, she would say. As Issei's dad would say this. Yeah, just make sure to not break my daughter. As after saying this, Izuku would start to blush as she would say this. It's nothing like that, I swear, mister, how you do. As he would say this. Oh, don't worry, besides, I know that you probably like her. Besides, do you know that before he can say anything else, Issei would come out as she would say this. Hey, Izuku! As Izuku would look over and would see her basically wearing a simple, some simple, short shorts, specifically, short, short, jeans that basically, come around, mid-thigh. She's wearing a simple, leather jacket, not really leather, but more denim's jacket, as she seems to be wearing a long sleeve, sweater. As she would say this. So, let's get going. As Izuku would say this. Yeah. As you'd think in his mind. Dang, she's kinda cute. Anyway, he would say, as he would basically grab her by the arm, as he would say this. Come on, let's go. And after leaving, both of the Haidu, parents would say this. Yeah, they're definitely going on a date, both of them would just say in unison. So, currently back with Izuku and, Issei. As Issei is basically bringing Izuku around the town, as they would decide to go to a little restaurant nearby. So, after going to that specific restaurant, they would basically, start eating at that restaurant. They would mostly have a bit of fun, basically, eating, and basically, after, the whole, after basically eating at that restaurant, they would decide to go to an arcade, where Izuku would proceed to basically beat all of the games with ease. Which, he would notice that Issei seems to be looking at them a bit weirdly. Almost like she's almost afraid of him. Which kinda concerned Izuku. But after a while, they would basically go to a little cafe where they just, drank some coffee. As Izuku would say this. Well, that was some fun. As after saying that, she would say this. Yeah, I guess so, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Are you okay? As she would say this. Yeah, I'm fine, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Are you sure? As she would say this. Yeah, I'm just sure. It's just, have you, ever believed in the supernatural? After hearing this, Izuku would just say this. Yeah, but before he can say anything else, he would start to hear the sound of crying. As he would look over and would see a nun basically, go basically on the ground, basically on her butt, basically, crying a little bit. As Izuku would say this, hey Issei, as she would say this. Oh, what? As she would look over towards the sound, as she would look over and would see the young girl. He would see a girl with a nun's-like outfit with blondish hair and greenish eyes. As he would walk towards her, as he would say this. Oh, are you okay, miss? As she would seem to be speaking in Italian, which Izuku knows. Yeah, let's just say, during his time basically as a kid, he would basically get tutors. Mostly ones from, overseas, and would basically, basically do Zoom calls, that's basically what it is. As he would know a little bit of, Italian, as he would start speaking in Italian, he would say, oh, so you speak Italian, he would say. As she was a little bit surprised, as she would say this, yeah, I was just wondering if you can help me with something. As Izuku would say this, yeah? As Izuku would say this, what is it exactly? As she would say this, well, as she would start to feel her stomach rumble, as Izuku would just look at her, as he would say this, you're hungry? As she would basically slowly nod her head with her face basically, in a pretty bright blush, as Izuku would say this. Well then, guess I'll just have to help you out then. After saying this, she would say this. Oh, thank you, she would say, as Izuku would grab her by the arm and would basically help her up. As Issei would walk over to them, as Issei would say this. Hey, Izuku, what happened to her? As he would say this. Well, it seems that she's sort of confused and kind of hungry, he would say, as she would say this. I see, so, as she would look over, as Izuku would say this. Oh, mind telling me your name exactly? He would basically say it in Italian, as she would say this. Oh, call me Ashia. Aisha. Aisha Argento, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Sure, Miss Argento, he would say, as she would say this. Can you please give me something to eat? I'm a bit hungry, she would say. As after doing so, he would basically let her sit in their table. As Izuku would basically get her some garlic bread. Yeah, everybody likes garlic bread. I mean, I never really personally eaten it, like, at all. But I really want to try it, though. And yeah, I never really tried garlic bread, even though that sounds pretty easy, but I don't really have an oven with me at all. I mean, I could probably do it in a frying pan or something of that sort, but yeah, never doing that. But either way, sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on with the episode. As after getting her some garlic bread and also, some simple drinks, like for example, just some simple like iced tea, which, by the way, one of my favorite drinks. Yeah, it's one of my top drinks, right next to maybe, yeah, maybe like right next to, some simple like apple juice or something. And maybe some lemonade. I mean, I tried a bit of lemonade at the time, but, I'm still pretty much hooked on this stuff. Specifically, iced tea. But either way, after, a bit of eating and also a bit of drinking, she would say this. Thank you. As Izuku could say this. So, may I ask, what are you, here exactly? I mean, why is a girl from Italy basically being in a place like this? She would say this. Well, I've been trying to find a place where I can go to. Specifically, I'm supposed to go to a church nearby. As Izuku would say this. A church, you say? He would say. As she would say this. Yeah, some friends of mine wanted to bring me there. It's really important for me to go there immediately. As Izuku would say this. I see, he would say. As after saying this, Issei would say this. Yeah, maybe we can help you. As she would say this. Wait, really? As Izuku would say this. Yeah, we did hear about, like, a church nearby, but it's been abandoned for a while now, so... As she would say this. I'm sure it might be the place. As Izuku would say this. Fine, I guess. After saying this, they would basically, pay the shop after getting their food and basically, eating it, and they would start leaving to go to the plaza for now. As when they got to the plaza, Issei and the girl would decide to just chat a little bit while Issei, was doing her own thing. As, while she was basically doing all of that, Issei would say this. So, guys, about the church, yeah, it really is abandoned. As, Asha would say this. But they did say that they had to go there, so, as Izuku would just say this. Who is they you speak of, he would say. As she would say this. Well, I can't really tell you that. It's, a bit classified. As Izuku would say this. I see. He would basically, just be thinking as he would say this. Either way, may I ask you this? As she would say this. Yes? As Izuku would say this. Tell me, are you ever in trouble by any chance? And if you do, maybe you can just contact us. After all, I guess we could say that we're friends now. As she would say this. Friends? She would say, as Izuku would say this. Yeah, he would say, as he would somewhat have a kind smile, as she would start to blush a little bit, as she would say this. Yeah, I guess we are friends. But before they can say anything else, the sky would change, turning dark. As Izuku would say this. What the hell is going on? As Issei would say this. Look! After looking up, Izuku would see a lot, and I mean a lot, of fallen angels. As right in the center was a girl, wearing some, let's just say some interesting clothing to say the least, and Fred Selzen. As Selzen would say this. Ha! It seems that the little girl actually survived, he would say, as he would look towards Issei, as Izuku would say this. Fred Selzen. As after hearing that voice, he would say this. Wait, it's the freak over there, he would say, as Izuku would say this. Freak? I guess you can say that, but in my opinion, you're the freak in my... But in my opinion, you're the freak in this story, he would say, as he would start becoming a little bit mad as the girl would introduce herself. She would say that her name was Rainer, as she would seem to have multiple wings, as he would notice that she's maybe about, middle level in class of, other fallen angels, which the rest of the fallen angels seems to just have, just one or two pairs of wings, one or two pairs of wings, which, thinks in his mind that they're probably pretty weak. As after thinking that, he would basically grab his, something out of nowhere, as he would throw a rock towards them, as one of them would say this. What is that supposed to do? As before anything else, one of them would basically get distracted, as Izuku would jump out of nowhere and would basically, basically kick one of the fallen angels across the room. Or not really room, but more like across the, plaza. As after doing so, one of them would say this. Why you insolent little fool? After saying that, one of the, fallen angels would create a light spear, as Izzy would jump in, as she would say this. Now, wait for a second. She would scream out, boosted gear! After saying that, a red gauntlet with a green gem would appear on her hand, as it would block the attack. Somewhat. She would be somewhat damaged, as one of them would say this. What? The Red Dragon Empress? As all of them would just look over towards the girl, aka Issei, as we start becoming a little bit afraid, as Izuku would say this. So, you are the Red Dragon Empress. As she would say this. Well, I've been meaning to ask you this. Let me ask you this. What are you? As Izuku would say this. Well, I am your best friend, but I'm also a ghoul, but I'm not really the type of, ghoul to basically eat human flesh. In fact, I don't really eat human flesh all that much. I prefer to just eat normal food. And right now, I think I found some new food right here, he would say. As he would basically summon out his, Rinkaku and his Bikaku. As his Bikaku would start, swirling around, almost like a scorpion's tail, getting ready to strike, as his, Rinkaku would start, lashing out like many animals basically getting ready to, like an animal basically getting ready to, get its meal. As he would say this. Now, I'll be taking all of you. After saying that, he would jump towards them as he would start slicing all of them apart, gaining some of their DNA in the process by using, jars, which he got out of nowhere. But yeah, let's just say he got them from, I don't know, maybe like a pocket dimension, or maybe his pockets. As after slicing through them with his, Bikaku and his Rinkaku, he would basically, use one of his Rinkaku to basically shoot out a blast, specifically a one large blast that's similar to, a blast from a fallen angel, as it would destroy one of, a large group of them in an instant, as Fred would say this. Shit, he would say, as, the girl by the name of Rainer would just be surprised, as she would say this. So, what the hell are you, human? As he would say this. Well, just like I said, I'm a ghoul. As after saying that, he would basically get ready, as he would start, summoning out his, his Kaukaku, as his arm would be engulfed in, like, a large-looking, arm-like blade, as he would say this. Now, for daring to try and hurt my allies, for daring to hurt my, my best friend over here, for even trying to hurt this little girl, even. I will tear you all apart, he would say with the awful glee in his voice. As, currently, Aisha would basically jump towards the area as she would say this. Stop! After saying this, Izuku would say this. What are you doing? As after saying this, she would say this. I'm not letting you hurt them. Besides, it's my problem. As she would start walking towards them, as, Rainer would say this. Good choice, little girl, she would say, as Izuku would say this. So, you're working with them. As she would say this. I guess so. I'm sorry, but as she would look towards them, as, one of them would say this. Now, we should probably start to get going. After all, our boss is definitely not going to be angry if we get late. As after saying that, well, Fred would say this. Yeah, I'm not really too keen on getting boss to basically blast us off like fucking Team Rocket, he would say. After saying that, they would start to leave, going out of nowhere, like getting out of nowhere. Like, no, not really, but more like, disappearing out of nowhere, I meant. As after doing so, Izuku would say this. Well, shit, he would say. As she would say this. So, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. As she would say this. So, you're not really human. As Izuku would say this. Well, yeah. But please, I still want to be friends, okay? So, don't be angry at me just because they didn't really tell you any. As, before he can say anything else, she would say this. No, I'm not that mad. Besides, it makes sense for you to basically hide this. I mean, what if somebody were to find out that you're not really human? I mean, it would make sense for you to just, hide your secrets. As Izuku would say this. How understanding, he would say. After saying this, Izuku would just look over to her as he would say this. So, mind telling me how you're the Red Dragon Empress, he would say. As she would say this, with a little bit of a blush. As she would start to, become a little bit flustered as she would say this. I guess I would just have to tell you. After telling how she basically became, the Red Dragon Empress, and after telling him that how she became, this. Apparently, she was, gone on a date with, Fred Selzen, where, after the date, she was killed, and ripped apart instantly. But, during the whole, massacre, she would basically, ask for a wish. And she would also gain some sort of, paper pamphlet, which resembled some sort of, summoning circle. Apparently, that wish is to live again, to want to protect you, specifically, Izuku. And that is where Ria's Grimoire would basically appear, and would basically revive her as she would become a member of her peerage, the Pawn. After, a bit of dumping all of that, Izuku would say this. I see. So you're a pawn to her. As she would say this. I guess so, but it will not change the fact that we're best friends. I mean, she would say. She would start becoming a little bit flustered, as Izuku would say this. Oh, don't worry. Besides, I don't really want to end our friendship right here. As after saying this, she would say this. Thank you, Izuku. She would say. By the way, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. As she would say this. What am I supposed to do? I mean, what is going to happen to Aisha? As Izuku would say this. I should probably also tell Sona about that as well. After saying this, she would say this. Oh yeah. You're going to be working with Sona, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Why are you looking at me like that? As she would say this. It's nothing, she would say. As after saying that, Izuku would just look at her as he would say this. Hey, by the way, don't be too jealous of her. Besides, I don't really like her all that much. And, by the way, try not to get yourself killed. Try not to get yourself killed. As she would say this. Yeah, I know, she would say. And after saying that, they would basically go their separate ways. So, after leaving, it was finally back to school. So, after coming back to school, Izuku would basically go straight towards, to the student council. As after knocking on the door, a person would basically open the door, and that person was Tsubaki, aka the dark-haired girl, as she would say this. Oh, Izuku, you're here. What is it exactly? As Izuku would say this. I want to talk to Sona immediately. As she would say this. Is it urgent? As Izuku would say this. Yeah, it seems that fallen angels have basically came to our, to our little town over here. As after saying this, she would say this. Oh, yeah, I should report. Here, I'll tell, Sona about that. She would basically, ask Sona, she would basically allow him to, let him in. And after walking into the, student council room, Izuku would say this. So, Sona, he would basically sat down on, the opposite chair, but, in front of her, as Izuku would say this. It seems that we have a few problems, one of which is quite disturbing. In this case, some fallen angels decide to basically stay here, and apparently they got a nun to basically join them. And it seems that nun seems to have a sacred gear, he would say, as all of them were surprised, as she would say this. How were you able to basically sense a, sacred gear? As Izuku would say this. Well, I don't really know what to call it, but it's more like I'm able to sense it. But for some odd reason, when I tried it on Issei, it didn't really work for her. I thought she'd never gotten a sacred gear, but it seems that I was wrong. Huh, he would say. As after saying this, she would say this. I see, so, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. As she would say this. Well, if you're going to, wondering if you, she would start becoming a little bit red, as she would start becoming a little bit flustered, as you would see this. No, what is it exactly? As she would say this. Oh, it's nothing, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Okay, pretty weird, but anyway, I need your help, especially with the Grimmery peerage. I need to stop all of those angels immediately, as she would say this. I guess so. I mean, it makes sense. As Izuku would say this. So, I'm going to be trying to save that girl. So, be ready in my command. As she would say this. Wait, you're taking orders? As after saying this, Izuku would say this. Sort of. I mean, I'm going to be saving that girl after all from those fallen angels, he would say. As after saying this, she would say this. I see. Huh. I guess so. Then, I'll help you then. After saying this, they would start to leave. So, after leaving, we basically see Izuku basically late at night going to Kuo once again, as he would go towards the student council room. Seeing, basically, walking into the student council room, he would basically knock on the door and would see Saji, aka the blonde-haired, silver-eyed man, or grayish-eyed man, as he would say this. Ah, Izuku, you're here. Don't worry, everybody's here already. As Izuku would say this. So, anyway, he would say, as you would walk in, as you would see all of the, members of their specific peerages, including Issei. As Issei is with the side of, of Grimmery, and for, his other side, aka, Soda's, peerage, as Izuku would say, guys. So, guys, you might have heard that we found out that there's apparently some fallen angels nearby. And by the way, Grimmery, after saying this, she would say this. Yes, Mr. Izuku? Mr. Midoriya? As after saying this, Izuku would say this. Well, may I ask, why didn't you stop the fallen angels from killing, Issei, he would say. As she would start to, become a little bit worried, as she would say this. Well, I sort of forgotten, as he would say this. Either you're incompetent, or you're that much of a lazy person, he would say, as she would say this. What? I mean, anyway, by the way, why are we here exactly? As Izuku would say this. Well, isn't it obvious? We need to stop all of these fallen angels from basically taking over the area. I mean, you're supposed to be taking care of the area after all. As one would say this. I mean, Izuku's kind of right, said, one of them. Specifically one of, Sona's, peerage members. As Izuku would say this. So, because of this, I want, some of you guys to basically be ready, because we're gonna be starting that stupid, church there. After saying this, one of them would say this. Specifically, Kiba. As Kiba would say this. Wait, hold on. You're trying to storm that, church? I mean, we're basically demons, and, not demons, I meant devils. And if we get closer to that place, we might, as Izuku would say this. Oh, don't worry, besides, I got an idea, he would say. As he would grab his, his suitcase, as he would open it, showing off his queen K, as he would say this. I'll break any religious type objects, like for example, crosses and other types of shit. You'll be the guys to basically stop the other guys over there outside. Anyway, let's get going, he would say, as he would basically grab his, his queen K, putting it back into, its suitcase as he would start to leave. Sorry about that, and so they would start leaving to go to the church. Currently at the church, we currently see a woman with, gothic Lolio type outfit would say this. So, Rainer? As we currently see Rainer, aka the girl from last time, pretty much pissed off, as she would say this. So that's the guy that killed my big sister, she would say, as she would say this. Damn, you look mad, as she would say this. Well, it's obvious. I mean, seriously, he killed her, she would say, as one of them would say this. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, it does make sense that you're angry, but still, have you seen what he can, do? I mean, he was able to shoot out a blast of energy similar to us. What is he exactly? I mean, either some sort of weird secret gear or something else entirely. After saying that, she would say this. I don't care, she would say. I will tear that monster apart. I will make him pay for everything, including killing my sister, she would say. As, after saying this, the outburst, all of them would just be frozen, including, Selzen, as he would say this. Damn, the bitch is mad, he would say, as, one of them would just, looks at them with a deadpan expression, specifically a random fallen angel, as he would say this. Anyway, if the, members of the, the members of the, peerages of those demons, those devil girls were to come, then we can probably start a war right there, immediately. As one of them would say this. Yeah, I mean, it would probably is, but still, we probably want to listen to Kokobile for now. After saying this, they would basically, be getting ready to basically get ready for the ritual. What do I mean by this? Well, apparently they're going to extract the secret gear that Aja uses, aka, which was called Twilight Healing. And so, after basically getting out of there, they would start, going downstairs to get ready for the ritual. So, as after, leaving, we currently see Rainer getting ready, as she would say this. Now, I will slaughter that bastard, she would say. So, after, all of that, we currently see Izuku, as Izuku would say this. So, before we can actually leave, guys, we're gonna be going to my house for now. As one of them would say this. What is it exactly? Like, why? Said, one of them would say this. Specifically, Kiba. Yeah, why are we actually going to your house exactly? I mean, is it really that important? As Izuku would say this. Well, yeah. As after getting back to his house, he would say this. Hey, Rainer? Not Rainer, I meant, hey, Cowiner. As, after opening the door, well, apparently she was in the middle of showering, as she would say this. What is it, Izu? As she would look over and would see everybody just, looking at her. As Issei would just look at him darkly, as she would say this. So, can you please ask about this, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Hold on, I swear, it's nothing like that, he would say, as one of them would say this, specifically Sona, where she was also there as well, as she would say this. Don't tell me that you're actually doing some pretty horrible things to this girl, as you would say this. I swear, it's nothing like that, as before she can say, before he can say anything else, Counter would say this. Wait, hold on. You're those that, protect this area. Perhaps you're Soda Citri and also, and Ria's Dreamery by any chance, as all of them would just be surprised, as she would say this. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, as she would show off her, multiple wings. Black wings, to be more precise, as she would say this. My name is Cowiner. Cowiner, the Fallen Angel, and I'm also gonna be living with Izuku as well. And trust me, I'm not really a part of those fallen angels over there in the church that are basically, trying to, steal away Twilight healing, she would say. As after saying this, Izuku just looked at her as he would say this. You mean the healing sacred gear? So that's their plan with her. As she would say this. You mean Aisha Argento? Yeah. As after saying this, all of them would just be surprised, as one of them would say this. Wait, why is a fallen angel here, and how do you know her? As, Kiba would say that, as Izuku would say this. Well, Mr. Pretty Boy? Well, it's because she never really wanted to kill me. In fact, it seems that she's sort of, I guess you could say... Actually, I'm not even gonna say it, he would say. She would say this. Anyway, why are you here? And I almost thought you were, doing something really important at that time. As Izuku would say this. Well, we're planning on basically storming the castle, aka, the church there, so, as she would say this. Don't tell me you're going to be fighting all of the fallen angels, she would say. As Izuku would say this. You read my mind. Yeah, perfectly. As she would say this. I see. As after, saying this, she would say this. Alright then, I'll help you out. As after saying this, Izuku would say this. Good. Now, let's go, guys. As she would say this. So, do I just have to wear this to battle? As Izuku would say this. No, not like that, he would say. As everybody would just, look at them. And, Izuku would say this. Just change your, clothes or something. As she would say this. Fine, she would say. As she would snap her fingers. And would be changed into her, sort of battle outfit. As Izuku would say this. Alright guys, let's get going. And so, they would start to leave. So, after, arriving at where the so-called church is, they would see that it's in the middle of a forest. As Izuku would say this. So, guys, you try and take over this one, for now. As he would look towards, Sona's peerage. As she would say this. I guess so, said one of them. As Sona would say this. Now, do as Izuku's command. I mean, he's sort of our ally. As all of them would start moving towards that area to basically fight off some of the fallen angels. As Izuku would say this. Now, I guess it's time for me to start rampaging, he would say. As after saying this, he would start activating all of his, his Kagane at the same time. As he would start growling like an animal, as his eyes become pure blood red, with his, with his actual eyes specifically becoming, becoming black, like pure black. As he would charge towards, the dirt road, basically slicing through several fallen angels in his path. As, Counter would start following him, in his path of destruction, seeing several of the dead bodies of the fallen angels. As currently with Ria's Grimmery, she would say this. Well, he's certainly powerful. As Rias would say this, one of them would say this. I don't know. I think I might have fallen in love, she would say, specifically, Keno. As after saying this, let's just say Issei was not really happy about that. As she would say this. Do not. As she would say this. Oh, don't worry, I promise to be gentle with him, she would say. As, one of them would say this. Yeah, you're definitely not going to be gentle, said, Kiba. As he would start to shiver a little bit. And if you're wondering, well, you did say that, Kiba's supposed to be a girl, right? Well, she's still pretending to be a boy for now. Later in the series, let's just say Izuku's definitely gonna have a hard surprise, if you get what I mean. So, yeah, as currently Kaneko is just like, wondering, he really is that strong, she would say. As after, wondering about that, they would realize that they should probably get going as well. So, currently with Izuku, and also with, with Kawaner. As after arriving, they would basically go in front of the church, as after doing so, they would see a few people in front of there. Specifically, a Lolita, or at least a small girl, basically, basically wearing like a gothic Lolita type outfit, as she would have, multiple fallen angel wings on her back. as another one would basically appear as well. A girl with, a pretty skimpy outfit, to the point that it almost resembles, like, something that a dominatrix, like, it's somewhat like something that a dominatrix would, like, meant, a dominatrix would something that a dominatrix would wear, like, something of that sort. As she would say this. Wait, calendar, she would say, as she would say this. Why, hello there, sister. As one of them would say this. I thought you died, she would say. As she would say this. Died? Mind telling me what is that supposed to mean? As one of them would say this, specifically the little girl. As she'd say this. Well, the scout did say that you were killed by him, she would say, as she would point towards Izuku. As she would say this. No, I, in fact, lived. And besides, he wanted to spare me, mostly because, as she would say this. I actually did love him, she would say. As they would just be in shock as they would say this. Wait, not Calwinner. Yeah, Calwinner, she would say. Wait, Calwinner, aka the Calwinner, actually did fall in love with somebody? As one of them would say this. I can't believe it, sister. As she would say this. Yeah, but I don't want to hurt you. Just, if you want, then just join with us. We promise. Wait for a second. As the gothic Lilia girl would say this. I mean, it's better than basically staying with them. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Cowiner. Are you sure, Millet? I mean, what if he... As she would say this. Specifically, Cowiner. Don't worry. Besides, he can protect us. As one of them would say this. Are you sure? I mean, he's overpowered as hell. Like, seriously. He could probably even beat... she would say. As Izuku would say this. What the hell are you talking about? As one of them would say this. We prefer not to talk about him, but he's quite powerful, and he's the reason why we decided to do this in the first place. As Izuku would say this. I swear. And besides, I promise to protect her. I mean, she did basically spare me, at least sort of. As she would say this. Yeah. Please, sister, just come with us. I promise that, as she would say this. Fine, sister. And trust me, I will do anything for you. You are basically my big sister. As after saying this, she would say this. Thank God. Wait, what about Asha? As one of them would say this. You mean that girl? Well, she's currently... Wait, are you here for... As Izuku would say this. So it seems that the ritual is starting to begin. As after saying this, Izuku would basically grab his, Quinke, as he would say this. Step aside. As after saying this, both of the girls would basically, go towards, Calwinner, as one of them would say this. So what is he going to do? As she would say this. Well, let's just say something much more terrifying than any devil or fallen angel. Or even regular angel, in fact. As after kicking down the doors, he would see a lot of fallen angels and a few, priests getting ready to fight. As he would say this. You're not getting in, and you're not going to get in our way, he would say. Specifically, one of the priests, as he would say this. Oh, you certainly are gonna be a piss baby when I'm going to be done with you, he would say. As he would say this. Now, I'll tear you all to pieces. After saying that, he would start using his Quinke in conjunction with, all of his Kagane. As let's just say, the place was covered in blood. Everybody was just instantly just slaughtered. As everybody was just instantly slashed with, either his, Kokaku, his Kaukaku or Bikaku. And with his, this, aka his Quinke, let's just say he's been getting a lot of DNA left and right. Basically grabbing a lot of DNA from, lower ranking and somewhat, middle ranking, fallen angels. And after doing so, he would just be done. Basically slaughtering all of them. As he would say this. Now, who's next, he would say, with a sadistic tone. as the rest are just basically just afraid, as he would start running away in fear, saying, "No, I'm not dealing with this shit," he would say, as one of the fallen angels would say this, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." Yeah, just imagine something like that. And after, doing so, they would basically be gone, as he'd say this. Now, where's the ritual site, he would say, as he would start looking around and would see a large staircase coming towards the basement, as he'd say this. So this must be the place, he would say, as after, getting down there, he would basically, go towards downstairs, currently outside, as Millet would say this. So that's the guy that you were sent to assassinate. As one of them would say this, specifically, Rainer. I'm surprised that he didn't cut off your arm, she would say, with a bit of fear in her voice, as she would say this. Yeah, and I'm pretty lucky that he isn't, a monster. As after saying this, they would look over and would see all of the devils, specifically, the devils that are currently in Kuo, or at least the ones that are basically commanding the whole place, as they would say this. So, you must be the fallen angels that basically, try and get the user of the, the user of Twilight, healing, as one of them would say this. So, you must be Ria's Gremory, and you must be Sona Citri, she would say, as one of them would say this. Wait, where's Izuku, she would say, specifically, Issei, as Kawiner would say this. Well, he's currently going downstairs to stop Fred Selzen. As she would say this, she would say this. I see. I'm going after him. After saying this, one of them would say this, specifically one of her peerage members, or at least one of her fellow peerage members, would say this. Wait, Issei, just wait, as one of them would say that, specifically, Kiba, as she would say this. No, I'm going. Besides, he's my childhood friend, and what if he gets hurt? As after saying this, one of them would say this. But that's suicide! But before, Kiba can say anything else, Rias would stop her. Or him in this case. As, he would say this. Rias, what are you doing? That's just suicide. As she would say this. No, let her do it. Besides, he wouldn't want to let the lovebird basically, be... Wait for a second. A lovebird be separated with her, her partner. After saying this, Issei would start to blush as she would just, smile at her as she would say this. Thanks, Rias. But after saying this, she would start going towards, downstairs to basically, see what is currently happening. They would start to hear, she would start to hear, the sounds of fighting, as after looking, she would see, Izuku currently locked in arms with, with Fred Selzen, as he would say this. You certainly are stronger, as he would say this. I'll tear you to little pieces. After saying that, he would basically start flying up into the sky with, his fallen, sort of fallen angel wings, and they seem to have increased in number. Instead of having, simple fallen angel wings, they seem to be larger, and he seems to have, about, how do I say this? Oh yes, he has 10 10 fallen angel wings at this point now. Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound concerning, but still, as he would basically raise his hand as he would say this. Now, let's try this out. I want to call this brand new ability Zero. After saying that, a large ball of condensed dark energy, or in this case, fallen angel, or light, energy in this case, would start condensing and would start mixing with, a little bit of like RC cells, creating some sort of weird looking mass of energy, as you would say this. Now, scatter. After saying that, he would start shooting off several blasts at, Selzen as it would rip through him, destroying him from the inside. As he would say this, Danielle! After saying that, he would basically be screaming as he would, be blasted away instantly. After doing so, Izuku would just say this. Now, as for Ashia, he would look towards her as she would say this. Izuku, thanks, she would say, as Izuku would basically rip off her chains, as Izuku would carry her bridal style, as he would say this. You okay? As she would start to blush as she would say this. Yeah, I mean, I am okay, but you don't really need to do this, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Well, I do sort of insist. Besides, I want to keep you safe from those bastards like him, he would say, as he would glare at Selzen, as he would say this. You bastard, he would say, as he would start being teleported away, as he would say this. It seems that he decided to escape. After saying that, he would say this, but either way, at least you're safe, Ashia Argento. As after saying that, she would start to blush as she would say this. Thank you, Mr. Midoriya, she would say. As after saying this, Izuku would say this. Oh please, just call me Izuku. And after saying that, they would start leaving the area as Izuku would look in front of him and would see a pretty sort of pissed off Issei as she would say this. Mind telling me what you're doing with her? As Izuku would say this. Issei, I swear, it's nothing like that, I swear, as she would say this. Oh, don't worry, you'll just be, doing something else. As, after saying that, her arm would start turning into, her boosted gear, as she would say this. Now, boost! After saying that, she would basically boost her arm, as she would boost her strength, and, yeah, he would basically, kick him, not really kick him, but more like punch him right in the stomach, as he would say this. Ow! That was true, he would say, as he would start, clenching his stomach, as he would say this. Even though I'm regenerating, it still freaking hurts, he would say, as she would say this. That's what you get for basically, trying to cheat on me, as Izuku would say this. But we're not even dating, he would say, as she would say this. For now, she would say, with, a somewhat, flustered tone, as Izuku would say this. Anyway, we should probably get her now. Probably get her to, we should probably get out of here now. As she would say this. Yeah, agreed. And after saying so, they would start to leave, going back to... Sorry about that. After doing so, they would basically leave the, the ritual site. As Izuku would say this. So, we did it. We saved Ashia. After saying that, all the members of, of Rias and also, some spirits would basically, go towards him as they would, not really go towards him, but mostly to Issei, but, mostly the Grimory group. But for, for Sona and her group, they would decide to go to Izuku, as he would say this. Are you okay? As Sona seems to be quite worried, like super worried for some odd reason, as Izuku would say this. Yeah, I'm fine, trust me. Anyway, what about Ashia? He would basically look towards her as she would say this. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty much fine, she would say. As one of them, specifically Grimory, would say this. So, Ashia, as she would say this. Yeah, she would say, with a somewhat scared tone, as she would say this. So, I wanted to ask, can you join my peerage? After saying this, Izuku would just look at her as he would say this. Yeah, I'm not really surprised, as she would say this. Sure, I don't really have anywhere to go, so... As she would say this. What about I let you stay with, Issei over there? As Issei would just be surprised, as she would say, wait, what? As she would say this. Yeah, why not? Now, for you, Ashia, as she would basically bring up a chess piece. Specifically, a piece that resembles a bishop. As she would put it near, Ashia's chest. As she would, she would do a little chant, and so she would be given the, role as a new bishop of the Grimory family. As she would say this. Now, rise, Bishop of Grimory, she would say, as she would say this. Yes, she would say, as she would say this. I'm pretty thankful for you for basically letting me join your peerage. As after saying this, she would say this. I guess so, said, Riaz. Now, as for you, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. Yeah? And trust me, I'm not joining your peerage. I'm basically working with only, and I mean only, with, and I mean only with, Sona, as she would say this. Oh, nothing. It's just, I want to ask, if you may want to, work with us as well, she would say, as Izuku would say this. How about, sure, he would say, but I do want something in return, as she would say this. I guess so. As, what is this thing you want? She said, Rias, as you'd say this. How about some blood of yours? As she would say this. Deal, she would say, as she would she would basically prick her finger, as she would say this. Now, what you're gonna do with it? As Izuku would say this. Well, as he would grab a syringe, as it would resemble the syringe that usually, it would resemble the syringe that, his Quinke have. As after grabbing it, he would basically, get some blood off of her, as he would basically, put it into, his arm, as he would find a vein. After injecting it into himself, he would start to change. His eyes would start becoming a little bit reddish, almost resembling his, when he's in his somewhat ghoul form, as after doing so, he would basically burst off devil-like wings, as you'd say this. After saying that, with a somewhat, with his, breath being a little bit heavy, all of them would just be a little bit worried, as one of them would say this, specifically Sona. Izuku, are you okay? As you would say this. I think so, he would say, as you basically do something with his hand, making a palm, as his arm would start sparking, as he would create some sort of red beam, or some sort of red-looking ball, as she would say this. That, as after saying this, Remy would just be in shock, as, Sona would say this. We have as Izuku would say this. Yeah, it seems I have the power of destruction, he would say. After saying this, all of them would just be in shock, as you'd say this. Anyway, as he would look towards, Rainer and the rest of her, somewhat friends in the, the Fallen Angel faction, as he would say this. So, what about you, as she would say this. Oh, just call me Rainer. I'm the sister of Cowiner over there. After saying this, Izuku would say this. Oh, then, Rainer, do you have anywhere to stay? As she would say this. Not really. As after saying that, Izuku would say this. How about you, stay with me? How about you, little miss? As she would say this. Trust me, I'm older than you, and the name is Millet. As Izuku would say this. Okay then, Millet. Mind telling me if you have somewhere to stay, or... As she would say this. No, I don't really have anywhere to stay, so... I guess I will just have to stay with you. As he would say this. Okay then. Then we should probably start to get going. After saying this, Izuku would say this. Hey Sona! As Sona would say this. Yeah? As she would say this. I meant, he would say this, I meant specifically Izuku. Then, nice, for helping me out. After saying that, he would just wait for a second. Sorry about that. He would say this. Thanks for helping me. I mean, I really appreciate it. After saying that, she would start to blush, as she would say this. Yeah, it's not really a problem, she would say. As Izuku would just laugh, as he would say this. Anyway, I should be preparing for school tomorrow, so, night guys. After saying that, he would start leaving with the rest of the, 3 girls. As, after doing so, one of them would say this, specifically one of her peers, remember, specifically Saji. I didn't know the Ice Queen was actually that, passionate. Especially with her, future husband, she would say, he would say, as she would start to blush, as she would say this. Don't say things like that, she would say, as she would start becoming a little bit more flustered, as Rias would say this, teasingly. I didn't know the ice cream was actually in love with him, she would say. She would say this. Stop that, she would say, as she would start becoming a lot, and I mean a lot, flustered. I, I meant flustered. As after doing so, Issei was just there, just like thinking to herself, I swear to God, I have so much competition, she would say. As currently, Akeno is basically laughing in the corner, saying, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with Izuku-kun, she would say. As currently, with, Kiba, she would say this. Well, I mean, he's certainly interesting. He's quite strong as well, and quite kind, but not really, not really praiseworthy by any chance. I mean, he's certainly strong and kind, but still, she would say in her mind. And she would also say this. He's kind of like a great friend, she would say in her mind even more. As we currently see Kaneko, as Kaneko would, somewhat feel a little bit weird for some odd reason. She's usually just the calm type, always stoic, but for some odd reason, when she's with Izuku, for some odd reason, she's just like, what the fuck is going on with me, she would say. As she would just, feel a little bit, flustered. Like, really flustered. As she would say this. Why do I feel this way towards that? She would say. Why am I falling in love with Izuku for some odd reason, she would say. So, yeah. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. And so, currently, Issei is just saying to herself, I just hope they're not gonna be a problem, she would say. Like, she was just, saying to herself, instantly. So, yeah, this is, currently the best way, where, everybody's at least somewhat, interesting to say the least. Like, everybody's pretty much interested in Izuku right now. Mostly in, somewhat in a friendly way. Like, for example, yeah, like, for example, Saji and maybe, and maybe, Kiba, but it's soon going to be changing to probably a, somewhat lovey-dovey status in the future. But for the rest, oh god, let's just say they're instantly smitten with him. Mostly, Akeno, Issei, and, Kaneko, which he's somewhat confused with a lot. And, after, doing all of that, we go to a different perspective. Currently, we see outside of the church, more specifically on top of the church. I should say this. You certainly are quite powerful, my mate. Soon you will be mine, and I will soon introduce myself to you. You will soon be mine, and I will make sure of that. And then soon, after I get my revenge on Big Red, I'll make you mine. All mine, she would say. As she would start, flying off, as currently another person would be nearby. A person which seems to have, well, we also see another person nearby. This person seems to have blondish hair and whitish eyes with weird-looking robes around his body, as he seems to also have a halo. As he would say this. That boy seems to be quite interesting. I guess that's why Gabriel is starting to get a little bit interested in him. It seems that my sister has finally fallen in love. I'm also quite concerned, he would say. As one of the angels would say this. Yeah, I'm also pretty much afraid for her mental health, seriously. Said another person from behind him, as he would say this. My Joker. Now, we should probably be getting going. We should probably be getting going. After all, this peerage, these devils, they're definitely not going to be, happy if a certain angel of me, a certain angel of mine would be here. Especially me. After all, I am the new representative for God. After saying this, one of them would say this, specifically that Joker character, he would say this. Yeah, it does make sense. Let's go now. As he would start spreading his, back, as he would spread out multiple wings. But unlike fallen angel wings, he would have weird, almost whitish wings as he would start flying off, as he would say this. I guess so. I should also contact, Gabriel about her, well, her weird obsession towards that boy, he would say, as he would start flying off with his own looking, angelic wings, which, unlike, the fallen angel ones, are completely pure white. So, yeah. So, after doing so, we're gonna be ending the episode right off here. Yeah, this is pretty much a pretty long episode today, so yeah, I'm gonna be ending off the episode right off here. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!